Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today is day 17 of the Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar series. And yes, I am running a day behind at this point. Unfortunately, I just needed a little break yesterday. But this card is like 2 days in the making now because I did open it on time and I showed the die to my daughter. And she decided that we should do a pink mermaid card. And so since she had to go to school today, I decided I would work on the card without her, unfortunately. But she did help me pick out all the supplies, which unfortunately I realized when I was making the video that I had not recorded the process of picking up all the supplies and gathering them up, because she did approve of the colors of cardstock we were using and the idea of a shaker card. That girl loves a shaker card. Both my kids love shaker cards. They're fun. So we are going to use the die set from day 17 that you can see in a jumbled mess there on the left hand side of the screen, as well as the stamp set, the floral stamp set from earlier in the advent calendar, to make this shaker card. And excuse me, I did see someone make like a shaker tag on a card, which I thought was cute, but since Reagan had already picked out all the supplies and the colors she wanted and how she wanted it to look on the card, I decided that I would do it exactly how she wanted, even though the shaker tag sounded like a cute idea too. But I struggle with like lining shaker cards and the stuff up, so this was a good test of my skill set and the improvements I've made lately on my skills of lining things up. So we are stamping. I think that my Catherine Pooler ink needs to get re-inked. The ink pad seems a little dry. But a little hint here is to put the tape onto the die in the part of the cardstock that you are not going to use. So then if it rips it, which it did, it won't mess up what you actually need. And now we are gluing a piece of clear acetate, which I have an old box of transparencies, and that's what I'm using as my acetate, because I've had those transparencies for a long time. I guess it ages me, because you probably can't find transparencies in an office supply store anymore like I did back in the day. But whatever. Yeah, so we're putting that on for the shaker window. And then, see there, you're seeing the rip of the cardstock when I take the tape off the die. And we're going to let that dry a little bit. And then we are going to put our double stick tape onto the back of this. And I'm using my anti-sticky scissors. I don't know if they're really anti-sticky. They say they are supposed to not stick, but we are going to, since we're not using glitter, we're just going to do the best we can to surround this odd-shaped die-cut window for this card. And yes, you see me struggling here with the double stick tape. I know some people use other mediums to build their window up, but I have double-sided tape, or foam tape, so we're going to use the foam tape. Now, in hindsight, because I'm using sequins, I would have doubled up the tape. If I were to do this again, I would have made the tape double thick, because as you'll see in the end, the sequins don't shake around as well as I would have liked them to. So yes, if I did this again, see, I'm using my anti-static powder tool in the window too, and on the tape, so that the sequins don't stick, and it does help. But in hindsight, I should have either not put so many sequins in, or I should have doubled the tape up, made the tape double thick, which that probably would have been a better choice. But hindsight is 20/20, of course. But I will say, remembering to use that anti-static powder tool on the window and the tape before you pour in the sequins is definitely helpful. And here we are backing off the tape and trying not to let the sequins stick everywhere they're not supposed to stick, which is a struggle. So if anybody has any hints on how I can do this better, like, these are definitely a pain point for me still. Even though I've made quite a few shaker cards, I always feel like they should turn out better. Like, they're not to the caliber I would like. So if anybody has any suggestions on how I can do better at shaker cards, please let me know, because I am open to suggestions and I really appreciate it when you guys interact with me on my videos. Here we go, putting a backer cardstock on the whole thing. And yes, I could have just stuck that to the front of the card base at that point. But like I said, I'm not super good at this yet, so this is what I did. And also, at this point, I realized that my card panel is 4 inches by 5 1/4. I'm not really sure why I cut it like that. So here we are. We're going to use the little cutout thing to cut out the word hello to make a greeting on our card. And we're going to use that darker, I thought that darker pink cardstock looked sort of like the stamped flowers on the card front. I wanted to make it match, sort of. And here we are on super duper speed, assembling the word hello. And we're going to glue it directly down onto the acetate and over the little panel there. I thought it looked pretty cute, pretty fancy, and definitely mermaid Barbie-esque, which is what my 4-year-old loves. So because my shaker panel was 4 inches by 5 1/4, this is how I'm going to fix it and make it look deliberate. I could have trimmed down the card base to just be 4 inches, but I didn't want to do that. So I'm taking a strip of gold metallic cardstock and I'm going to glue it down. It's like a 1/4 inch-ish maybe. And I'm going to glue it down at the very edge of both sides of the card to make it kind of look like a deliberate space. And I think I'm probably not the only card maker that does this. I've seen other card makers do it, and I think it's genius, and I love it. But yeah, definitely helps with the, oops, it's not quite the right size. And I'm doing my best to line it up there. The liquid glue actually helps a lot with that because you can scooch it around a little bit if you need to. Then we're going to trim off the edges of that gold. And here is our 5 seconds of Sonic. Yes, I decorated with some garland, and he started biting it immediately. All right, here's the finished product. Let me know in the comments below what you think of it. What would you have done with those dies? Thank you so much for watching, and come back tomorrow for our next day, and hopefully I'll get caught up. One of these days I'll post 2, and I'll be all caught up. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. See you soon.